Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today's list is one of the most eclectic and genuinely exciting we've ever assembled. A countdown that spans the full width of watchmaking, from a Swiss manufacturer with 2 centuries of history to a Japanese electronics giant that redefined what a wristwatch could know about the world. From a Swiss brand that put mechanical watchmaking in a machine and asked the industry to rethink everything it assumed, to the single most purposeful sports watch Rolex has ever produced. What unites these 10 watches is not price, not country of origin, not complication level. It is a commitment to doing one thing exceptionally well and not apologizing for any of the choices that commitment demands. This is a list about conviction. Let's get into it. Number 10. Tudor Pelagos. We open our list with the Tudor Pelagos, and if the Black Bay is Tudor's love letter to vintage diving heritage, the Pelagos is Tudor's declaration of what a professional dive watch looks like when sentiment is set entirely aside and pure performance takes over. The Pelagos was Tudor's first in-house titanium dive watch, and the material choice communicates its intent immediately. Grade 5 titanium gives the watch a lightness on the wrist that is remarkable given its 42mm case, while the surface treatment resists the scratches and corrosion that stainless steel accumulates in genuine marine environments. Water-resistant to 500 meters, the Pelagos features a helium escape valve for saturation diving, a luminescent unidirectional bezel, and a self-adjusting bracelet clasp that compensates for the pressure-related wrist expansion divers experience at depth. A practical specification that separates a real diver's tool from a diver's watch worn on land. The MT562 manufacture movement inside delivers 70 hours of power reserve with chronometer precision. The Pelagos is the watch that professional divers, naval officers, and serious water adventurers actually reach for, and that endorsement means everything. The Tudor Pelagos retails at approximately $4,525 USD. Number 9. Citizen Satellite Wave. The Citizen Satellite Wave occupies a technological category that no other brand has pursued with the same sustained commitment or achieved with the same refinement, and the result is a watch that is, in one very specific and measurable sense, the most accurate timekeeping instrument available on a human wrist anywhere on the planet. The satellite wave receives time signals directly from GPS satellites in orbit above the Earth, synchronizing to the atomic clock standards that those satellites carry, and updating the display to the correct time and time zone automatically wherever you are in the world. That synchronization takes approximately 4 seconds. The accuracy achieved is within 1 second across 100,000 years. These are not aspirational marketing numbers. They are the documented outputs of a technology that Citizen pioneered and has refined across multiple generations of development. The EcoDrive solar charging means the satellite-synchronized precision is sustained indefinitely without battery replacement. The titanium case keeps weight minimal, while the dial presents its considerable technological content with the composed, assured confidence of a brand that has nothing left to prove in this particular arena. The Citizen Satellite Wave is the watch for those who refuse to accept that precision has a ceiling. The Citizen Satellite Wave retails at approximately $875–100 USD. Number 8. Swatch System 51. The Swatch System 51 is a provocation. A deliberate, intelligent, and thoroughly enjoyable challenge to every assumption the watch industry has ever made about how a mechanical movement should be designed, built, and priced. When Swatch introduced the System 51 in 2013, the industry reacted with a combination of admiration and unease that is the reliable signature of a genuinely disruptive idea. The movement contains exactly 51 components, against the 100 to 200 parts of a typical automatic caliber, and it is assembled entirely by machine, without a single human hand touching the movement during production. One single screw holds the entire mechanism together. The result is a fully mechanical, self-winding Swiss-made movement produced at a cost that makes mechanical watchmaking accessible to anyone, anywhere, at any income level. The case designs, bold, colorful, unashamedly playful, carry the Swatch design DNA that has made the brand a cultural institution since 1983. But beneath the accessible exterior, the System 51 is a serious engineering achievement, a genuine rethinking of mechanical movement architecture from first principles, by engineers willing to abandon tradition wherever tradition was inefficient. The Swatch System 51 retails at approximately $150–200 USD. Nothing else in watchmaking offers what it offers for what it charges. Number 7. Bulova Precisionist. The Bulova Precisionist is a watch built around a single obsession: accuracy, and the lengths to which Bulova went to achieve it produced something genuinely unlike any other quartz watch on the market. Standard quartz watches operate at 32,768 vibrations per second, which produces accuracy of approximately plus 15 seconds per month. The Bulova Precisionist operates at 262 out to 144 vibrations per second, 8 times higher, and delivers accuracy of +10 seconds per year. That is not an incremental improvement. It is a fundamental rethinking of what quartz precision means, achieved through a proprietary 3-prong tuning fork crystal that is unique in the industry. The practical result is a seconds hand that sweeps as smoothly as any mechanical watch. The high-frequency oscillation eliminates the stepping motion that betrays most quartz movements, and a timekeeping standard that renders regular calibration unnecessary for practical purposes. The Precisionist case is bold and sporty, the chronograph-equipped references particularly compelling, and the overall build quality reflects Bulova's long American watchmaking heritage. For someone who requires absolute daily accuracy in a tool watch that can take punishment, the Precisionist answers every question. The Bulova Precisionist retails at approximately $350–500 USD. Number 6. Maurice Lacroix Pontos. The Maurice Lacroix Pontos is the open secret of the mid-range Swiss watch market. A beautifully engineered, impeccably finished sports watch from a manufacturer that operates with a creative independence and technical ambition that its pricing simply does not prepare you for. Maurice Lacroix is a Schaffhausen-based independent that builds a meaningful proportion of its movements in-house, a distinction that separates the serious from the superficial at this price tier. And the Pontos is the reference where that in-house capability is most fully expressed. The case is clean and purposeful, without the aggressive posturing that some sports watches confuse for character, and the dial finishing, sunray brushing, applied indices, crisp printing, speaks to a manufacturer that cares about what it sends into the world. The integrated bracelet variants wear with a fluidity and cohesion that rivals references at 2 and 3 times the price. For collectors who do their research and value substance over name recognition, the Pontos reliably produces the reaction that expensive watches often fail to deliver: the satisfaction of knowing you found something genuinely good before the crowd arrived. The Maurice Lacroix Pontos retails at approximately $1,800–$2,500 USD. Number 5. Rado Captain Cook. The Rado Captain Cook is a masterclass in vintage revival, done with intelligence, restraint, and genuine understanding of what made the original great. The Captain Cook name first appeared on a Rado dive watch in 1962, and the design language of that era, the bold applied indices, the textured dial, the rotating diver's bezel, the warm vintage proportions, was preserved with such accuracy through decades of catalog changes that when Rado revived it as a modern reference, they had the extraordinary advantage of reviving something that had never entirely disappeared. The contemporary Captain Cook retains the 37mm vintage sizing in certain references, a proportion that wears with the relaxed, elegant confidence that the oversized trend temporarily displaced and that the market has enthusiastically rediscovered. Rado's expertise in high-tech ceramic is deployed here with particular elegance. The hardness of the ceramic case resists the scratches and wear that undermine the aesthetics of steel over time, while the material's unique texture and color depth give the watch a character that metal cannot replicate. The automatic movement inside is reliable and well specified, and the overall execution is precisely as good as it needs to be without reaching for unnecessary complexity. The Rado Captain Cook retails at approximately $1,600–$2,200 USD. Number 4. Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin is the watch that answers the question every dress watch collection eventually arrives at. What is the definitive expression of the form? Not the most complicated, not the most decorated, not the most historically significant, but the most purely resolved, the most completely itself, the clearest demonstration of what a dress watch is actually trying to be. The Master Ultra Thin reduces the dress watch to its irreducible elements: a slim, polished stainless steel case of impeccable proportion, a clean sunray brushed dial with applied hour markers and slender hands, and an ultra-thin caliber that keeps the case profile at a wrist intimacy that only great thin watches achieve. The manufacturer Jaeger-LeCoultre, established in the Vallée de Joux in 1833, produces every component of every watch in-house, including their own tools and machinery. And the confidence of that complete vertical integration is present in every surface and every tolerance of the Master Ultra Thin. On a slim leather strap, it disappears beneath a shirt cuff and reappears at social occasions with the quiet authority of an object that has never needed to compete for attention, because it has already earned it. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Ultra Thin retails at approximately $6,650 USD. Number 3. Casio ProTrek. The Casio ProTrek is on this list because honesty demands it. Because any countdown of watches that do exactly what they promise, with zero compromise and total commitment to purpose, must include the watch that has guided more hikers, climbers, trail runners, and outdoor adventurers safely home than any other reference in the history of the category. The ProTrek is not trying to be a luxury watch. It is not trying to be a dress watch or a collector's piece or a boardroom status signal. It is a navigation instrument worn on the wrist, and at that specific mission, it is essentially without peer. The triple sensor technology, altimeter, barometer, compass, and thermometer, all accessed within seconds through a clearly labeled control interface, delivers genuinely actionable outdoor data in a form that requires no instruction manual in the field. Solar charging eliminates the battery anxiety that is the only real vulnerability of an electronic outdoor instrument. The resin case construction absorbs the impacts and temperature extremes of genuine mountain environments without complaint. The ProTrek is the watch that professionals in search and rescue, mountaineering guides, and serious backcountry athletes trust when conditions deteriorate. That trust is the only specification that matters. The Casio ProTrek retails at approximately $200, $500 USD, depending on configuration. Number 2. Bulgari Diagono. The Bulgari Diagono is where one of the world's great jewelry and design houses demonstrates that the sports watch genre responds beautifully to Italian creative intelligence when that intelligence is applied with confidence and genuine understanding of the form. Bulgari's watch division has earned considerable respect in recent years through the world record thinness achievements of the Octo Finissimo, but the Diagono represents a different expression of the same design philosophy. The conviction that luxury sports watches should be beautiful before they are anything else. The Diagono's case blends the integrated bracelet sports architecture with a softness and elegance of line that is distinctly, unmistakably Italian. The proportions are generous without aggression. The surface is polished and brushed with the finishing sensibility of a brand that began with jewelry and never forgot the lesson. The integrated rubber strap variants carry a modernity and wearable confidence that positions the Diagono firmly in the contemporary sports watch conversation without surrendering the elegance that distinguishes Bulgari from its competitors. Automatic and chronograph configurations give the collection range, and the movement quality reflects a manufacturer investing seriously in its horological credentials. The Bulgari Diagono retails at approximately $4,500 to $6,500 USD depending on configuration. Number 1. Rolex Explorer. The Rolex Explorer. And if that choice requires any justification at all, then consider what this watch has already survived to earn it. The Explorer was born from one of the greatest human achievements of the 20th century. When Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay stood at the top of the world on the 29th of May 1953, Rolex Oyster watches had accompanied the expedition through conditions designed by nature to destroy precision instruments, temperatures that freeze lubricants and contract metals, atmospheric pressures that alter the behavior of every mechanical system, physical impacts on the unforgiving surface of the world's highest mountain. The watches functioned. Rolex documented the results. The Explorer was introduced later that year, and its purpose was encoded in its name, a watch for those who go where maps run out. The genius of the Explorer is what Rolex chose not to include. There is no date. There is no complication. There is no bezel function. There are Arabic numerals at 3, 6, and 9, the minimum necessary to orient the dial, and baton indices for everything else. The hands are the proven Mercedes configuration. The dial is black, and absolutely nothing on it exists without functional justification. The result is an object of such elemental completeness that 70 years of watchmaking evolution have found nothing to improve at its core.